What kind of knife is that? Meet cleaver, simply for cleaving beasts. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, old and new friends, and many other Popcorn Priest acolytes take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? I'm your host, Chris Compton. Let's get into our review and breakdown of From Beijing with Love from 1994, or domestically known in China as Guokchang Ling Ling Chat.
Can I help you, sir?
係啊 ，Yes, well，我經已 book 咗房。
請問貴姓呢？
My name is 007。
國產007。
Joining me today are reoccurring guests Cole and Taylor, longtime friends and movie enthusiasts who both worked with me when I worked as a projectionist at the movie theater years ago. Happy to have them on this week's breakdown of From Beijing with Love. The description for this one: an incompetent 007 wannabe is sent to locate a stolen dinosaur skull. Yeah, that's the description, people. Directed by Stephen Chow, Lick Chi Li from Kung Fu Hustle fame. Top billed stars are Stephen Chow himself, Anita Yuan, and Car Ying La. Runtime of an hour and 24 minutes, not rated, mind you. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says action only. Although IMDB says action, comedy, thriller. Rating from IMDB is 7.2 out of 10 from 5.4 thousand reviews. Rotten Tomatoes gives us a 50% from 6 critic ratings and 87% from the rest of us of 5,000 plus audience reviews. Box office haul: on an undisclosed production budget due to Chinese tariffs, this one made a Chinese box office haul of 37.5 million Hong Kong dollars, which translates to only 4.7 million US dollars. So I guess not that great. And where to watch this one? Good luck finding it. I think we rented a poor quality version on Amazon, which had dubbing, which is really lame. It's better if you can find the Chinese version so you can hear all the inflections, but we had a dubbed version, which I guess makes it funnier. I don't know. But before you do, let's get into the hottest, most talked about segment in podcasting. Should or shouldn't you watch this? 5 reasons why you should watch this. Number 1, if you like a B-movie vibe, this is for you. Number 2, if you like laughable Chinese dubbing in your movies, then this is for you. Number 3, if you want to see one of the most bizarre boss fight scenes at the end of a movie, this is for you. Number 4, if you want a movie to watch with a group of friends where you're going to laugh and make fun of it together, this is a great one for that. Number 5, if you want to see a Chinese spoof on the James Bond franchise that has a Naked Gun sprinkling to it, punctuated with some crazy violence, this is for you. Popcorn trivia. Not much trivia, as probably none of it was translated English, and sorry everyone, I don't read Cantonese. According to Wikipedia, Mr. Chow holds the domestic box office record in mainland China for a movie called Mermaid. So this was his early foray into directing, but later he's kind of their golden child. The literal meaning of the title, Guokchan Ling Ling Chat, means the locally produced 007. That's for sure. Despite the film's portrayal of the Chinese Communist Party, Stephen Chow would eventually helm films with mainland Chinese audiences in mind, starting with Kung Fu Hustle, which, by the way, spoiler alert, go see that one instead of this one if you have to watch a Stephen Chow movie. But this one, in 1995, in the 14th Hong Kong Film Awards, was nominated for Best Actor, Stephen Chow, and Best Supporting Actor from La Car Ying. So they didn't win, but they were nominated. Popcorn beefs, no beefs. This movie is what it is. They knew what they were doing or didn't know what they were doing. So find out why in this week's breakdown. We welcome Cole and Taylor, my good buddies from the movie theater.
I think works. It's like we're one person. I like that better.
It's true. We are reviewing From Beijing with Love. It says here 1994. It was Cole's selection, so we can thank Cole. The intro says, after a giant dinosaur skull is stolen, the head of the Chinese secret police decides to assign the case to the force's most incompetent reject, a rural butcher who stands around all day drinking martinis, shaken, not stirred, with a trunk load of insanely useless gadgets and a contact who constantly tries to kill him. The young agent must locate the skull and find out just what is going on here. So let's dive into From Beijing with Love.
I mean, I take objection to that description. Those devices were not useless.
I agree.
A quick shave.
Well, I love how they call him incompetent, and he fumbling around. He doesn't know. It's just he doesn't know how to use firearms, but yet he can take out 3 dudes with assault rifles with little butter knives when they're in an elevator from across the mall.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. It's like he's actually like super competent, and they're just kind of playing it off.
His knife throwing skills are unparalleled.
That whole second was just to show like, yeah, he actually is really good.
He's actually so good that he can get away paying prostitutes with pork instead of actual cash.
Exactly. First thing I want to say is I wish it was subtitled.
Yeah. I definitely thought that it lost something in the. I don't know, like the timing was bad, and I don't know.
It's just because they have to talk faster to make up for it, so it feels like the audio is turned up faster than the movie itself. It kind of jars you out of it every now and then. I
mean, it was funny for parts of it, and harkening back to the old kung fu movies and stuff. But I wish I just could hear their Chinese inflections. But anyway.
Okay, so I don't know enough about music, but the song they have. That's just the James Bond theme, right? Like they just have it an octave off or something.
Yeah, it was maybe
so
played
close. It was
a couple of notes off and then a little slower.
Well,
or something.
I'm sure.
Did they license that in any way, or did they just go no, I don't care?
No, it's supposed to be similar but not the same, so they don't get sued. Just like the bad guys, instead of Jaws, it's just some dude with nasty yellow teeth and a metallic arm.
That's true. Everything felt like obviously a lower grade ripoff of James Bond. The villains, even the opening
but it was way more violent than a James Bond movie. It had that John Woo Hong Kong style action,
hard boiled.
Yeah, which I was all for, by the way. That was great.
Yeah, you remember the super close up of the bullet hole? They have these weird they zoom right into this bullet hole that's leaking blood and then hang on it for a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, and when he's throwing knives around, just murdering people.
Well, but I mean, at the same time, this is the first movie he ever directed, so
it's true. It's actually really interesting, in that respect, that it's Stephen Chow, is that the director?
Yeah, Stephen Chow.
Yeah, I failed to mention that.
The Kung Fu Hustle director, which that movie is great.
And Shaolin Soccer. And what's the other one? CJ7, the really strange alien movie. E.T. homage.
Oh my gosh. The very first thing you see on IMDb, you know how they have the carousel of images? Uh-huh. It's the picture of the when he's in the hotel and he's the bad hotel, the images that the caretaker lady man is showing him. That's what's on IMDb, by the way. I'm looking up the director.
That's a good way to introduce it right there. Here's what you're in for. I mean, even watching the trailer for it, I mean, you don't really know what you're in for because it changes pace back and forth so quickly, going from serious to the Naked Gun style comedy, and then back to Naked serious Gun, violence.
When he was going through all of his stupid gadgets, that felt very Naked Gun to me, the gun that shoots backwards and then forwards.
Yeah, well, and then I mean the best invention at the end, the invention at the end where it's every device any man would ever need. It's got multivitamins hanging off of it.
Yeah, multivitamins.
Yeah, the ultimate weapon.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of objects hanging off the strings on like a power strip.
And then like when he's like trying to break into the party with just like the springboard.
Oh, well, did you watch through the credits where it shows him doing that again, and he jumps off and disappears, and the taxi cab like ends up bringing him back because he flew so far away.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. What was it? Was it something he'd practiced, or was it like
No, it's just because it's supposed to show like unless it's a knife or like a blade, he doesn't know what he's doing with any of the other objects. Like he's terrible with guns and.
No, I'm talking about how he like is able to launch himself into the air spontaneously. Is that like a skill that he learns, or is it like
It's just like that weird briefcase that he had.
Yeah, it's the briefcase has springs in it. It's just launching him. It's launched him in the air, but he can't figure out. It keeps shooting him the wrong way.
So he like just goes straight up and falls straight back down, and then he angles it too far, and he flies into the wall.
It's just to show like I don't know if it's just supposed to be that the inventions are bad or that he's just like really horrible at his job. He just doesn't know what he's doing with them.
I think I was confused because of that scene where he's at the execution and the other guy launches also.
What, the kung fu guy? He does like runs up the wall.
Yeah, but he can launch himself into the air because he has kung fu skills, not because he has a spring-loaded suitcase or a briefcase.
Yeah, the resolution of that is so funny. Like with the flashback where he says we got away.
Don't give that away. That's a pretty good joke to leave in.
So I wrote down. I actually took notes. This is the first time I've taken notes, but mainly because I was by myself. This is so weird watching a movie separately and then coming together and recording this. But anyway,
okay, if you took
you're halfway to the movie.
I have some questions because there was some stuff I didn't get.
What?
So I wrote down some surprising, like the most surprising moment with regard to like violence. And I wrote down the pen to the head and then the body that just goes right into flames. I was like jarred because that's like the first moment like extreme violence
it's way
happens.
more violent than any James Bond ever is. Like it's
Well, but I mean, there's the Chinese standards versus, like
that. I'm all for it. Like, if they wanted to make a James Bond film like R-rated, that would be hilarious.
I mean, it's just like Europe where you've got nudity for 14-year-olds. I mean, China, I guess, just doesn't really care about tacking on the violence, or it's just for comedic effect. They went over the top.
And what about the murder of the dad in front of his child?
Yeah, like the whole robbery in the mall. And he's like, I'll give him like $500. I didn't know him that well.
Can I borrow $500 from you?
The last one I wrote down was flying and then getting shot with a bazooka. That guy that got shot with the bazooka in midair was insane. Like, it was most surprising. Those three things I wrote down, like, wow, that took me by surprise.
So I would say like some of like the more like blue collar comedy actually like shocked me. Like the whole when he's getting that bullet taken out, like.
Oh, I know.
That's funny.
No, that white part's my bone.
That felt like some like R-rated raunchy comedy bit.
Yeah, I love that quote. That is my bone. And then he's talking about the blue movie.
Yeah, the blue movie.
Like
he's putting out. Yeah, he puts on the porno tape to distract him from the pain.
I'm diverting my blood flow there so that I don't pass out and die.
I am diverting the blood there.
That's what I mean. Like,
if I fall asleep, I won't wake up.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it goes from so serious to like him cutting open a wound on his leg with his huge knife to then just suddenly like putting on a porno to distract himself because he doesn't have anesthesia to deal with the pain. Like, it just jumps back and forth.
And then he remembers to take the tape out.
Oh yeah, right, he doesn't want to leave without that. Stops. He needs that tape.
And he cauterizes the wound like Rambo.
Oh yeah, but like he does like unscrew a bullet and.
Oh, it's so bad, but
so bad, but so good. So bad it makes you laugh.
I wrote down some crazy quotes. I'll just rapid fire them to you. Let me hug you. We will do our hug later. Use this liver to make some soup.
Yeah, there's some.
Oh yeah.
There was some weird translation stuff where it was like they're translating it. I don't know if it's like directly or something, but it comes across as very weird, very stilted, and like very much like all your base are belong to us kind of deal.
And there was a weird echo. Like if you could tell they were recording it in some room, like all the time.
I didn't
like the
notice
dubbing.
that.
Yeah, but
it felt weird. To me.
I would definitely say if you're going to see it, try and get a subtitled like version of it.
I
don't know if it exists.
Oh, it may not.
searched,
I don't know.
No, when I had to rent it again because I missed it the first time, all I could find was that dubbed version. Like that's the only version I can find, like anywhere on Amazon or Google or like any site that rents movies out. It was just dubbed.
Streaming. Maybe there's like some special edition Blu-ray you can import from China.
Well, there you go. Or you can just watch it 2 or 3 times with dubbed, and then just watch it, the regular
just
Chinese
learn
version. Fill in the blanks.
You can just learn like what is it, Chinese or Cantonese, and you're good.
Mandarin. It's only 27,000 characters.
Yeah, no, it'd be fine.
I would not recommend going to all that trouble to get the
for this movie
version.
not for 83 minutes. Yeah, not for 83 minutes of comedy.
No.
It's that's the other.
So here's a couple other quotes. No one touches my chopper but me. You must be crazy using a butcher as an agent. Just get out. When he's in the bathroom and he that whole plot,
that whole subplot's really funny too, or just somehow just keeps failing to kill him.
That's the weird thing about the movie to me is that it's only 83 minutes, so you don't notice that much. But that's kind of what I noticed is you get the opening scene with the reason why he needs to be enlisted again for a dinosaur head, which is the weirdest reason of all, to bring someone out of retirement. But then it goes into the whole side plot of the girl and him, kind of falling for each other. And then it kind of seems like the last 15 minutes is like, we got to wrap this up somehow. Let's have this guy bust in through the window and then be picking pieces of glass out of himself. And then we'll get the plot back on track.
Who did they work for? The claw guy and the other lady? Like, were they working for the smuggler guy?
Yeah, well, it was, you don't want to give anything away, but they don't really explain why they need it though, do they? In the end.
Yeah, the head, the dinosaur head. Yeah, there's this elaborate scene, and the opening scene's crazy, and then you don't hear about it.
It's like there's barely like the thinnest of plots. Like it's really just kind of like a vehicle for gags.
It really is. It's just kind of setting up wacky set pieces under the guise of, a suave secret agent that's really just, keeps running into bad luck. Maybe I'm looking into it too much.
Here's another quote. Can it kill a dinosaur? You will have to try it on one. You will have to try it on one. I think the last quote I had was, even your body armor can't withstand my body fire.
How are you going to remember that quote, but you're not going to remember the one about forgetting to fill up the tank because he used the flamethrowers last night?
Oh, I didn't write that one down. That one's good.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to fill. I used half the fuel last night and forgot to refill.
Well, when we're referencing a lady who has flamethrowers,
brassiere, a metal brassiere.
Yeah, a metal brassiere.
Oh, a metal brassiere with tubes that are about 2 feet long that come out of it when it shoots fire. That's the best part.
Yeah, my body fire.
Yeah,
and the Super Duper 3000. That's the one that you were talking about. The little chain hanging with the vitamins.
Yeah.
The super weapon is called Super Duper 3000. I really like the I don't know what the main character's name is, or
Lin.
Well, yeah, his name is Ling
No,
Chai.
the main character is the director. That's Stephen Chow.
Yeah.
That is Stephen Chow. Oh,
he's the main guy in Kung Fu Hustle too.
But when he was fumbling the gun, that was pretty awesome. He fumbles it like 6 or 7 times, and I think he's going into the bathroom or into the hotel room, the crappy hotel room, and he fumbles the gun.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty cool. Like I was like, that's nice.
Yeah, you can definitely see like why he's become like a really big like Chinese director from this. This is like his debut effort. Like, there's a lot to like there.
Well, that's what I was telling Chris the other day. The first time this was his first movie, but like at this point in time, I think it was 2 years ago, he was the 9th highest grossing director in Hollywood, because that Mermaid show was like the highest grossing film of China, like $500 million.
I never saw that Mermaid show. It looked so weird.
What is that show?
It's the Chinese version of Little Mermaid, basically, but it's just done more with computers.
Comedic and it's basically
Little Mermaid with a bigger budget.
hugely successful director now, just like based on the China audience alone.
Well, it's like he's got the highest grossing film in Vietnam and I think Korea and China, and then there's a couple other places that it's because everyone just loves his work so much, or he's basically the Asian
Steven
Spielberg at this point. Yeah,
pretty much.
With his version of E.T.
Yeah, The Mermaid. That's crazy.
I was going to do that at one point, for my pick, and then I totally forgot about it. I think it was when it first came out. Everybody kept talking about how it was just destroying records, and it was #1 at their box office for like 3 months or something like that.
It never came out here, like to where I could see it. Like,
it came to I remember that it came to the Broadway, but it was literally there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it was just poof, like that was gone.
Yeah, it makes me really curious because, like, looking at it, I was like, well, this is clearly not like even trying to pander to American like audiences.
Oh yeah,
like, it's very much like it's like, no, we're just gonna make this movie, and it's like we're not.
We got enough people in our homeland. Yeah, we can drive a box office sales.
Get Matt Damon to come and pretend to be on the Great Wall of China.
Don't you bash the Great Wall? That movie's amazing.
I have not seen it. It looked hilarious.
I haven't seen it either.
It's basically Matt Damon walking in front of a green screen, and no one told him to get off the set. They just kept filming.
How did that?
That's exactly
that movie.
That's exactly what the Mermaid could have been, but the Mermaid, that Stephen Chow is smarter. It's like, no, we don't need to pander to these idiots.
We know we know all audiences are dumb. We're just going to pander to ours for money.
Yeah, it's like why complicate things?
The British come out and say that they dumb down their films for us. We don't even care. We're just going to say everyone's stupid. We're just going to go for the bottom of the barrel.
Well, any other things? What were your questions?
It was just who the lady and the robot arm guy were working for. It didn't make that very clear.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down too. But I wrote down, how did the double agent get the Jaws guy and the other chick to help her? I also was confused.
I think she convinced him that she knew that the bad guy would turn on them if, given the chance. I think she convinced him to like hear her out or see what he'd do, because they kind of knew that he might turn on them. So they just kind of helped her out. You just kind of just have to stretch yourself that last little bit towards the third act anyways.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But I think it was just more assumed, like she talked it out with them and they agreed to help. But that's all you can really infer from that scene.
Like, I don't know. I'd have to watch it again, and it's not really worth watching again.
I turned it on a second. I mean, it's so short. It's only like 85 minutes before the credits roll. I think I put it on again the other day and just let it run through and was listening to it in the background because some of the dialogue was pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I guess that brings us to our review, our rating. What would you guys give the rating?
It's okay. Some stars, but if you're gonna watch like a Stephen Chow movie, like I would say Kung Fu Hustle is like better than this in every way.
If you want to see, it's like if you want to see where Stephen Chow's his directorial debut.
He's like his later movie, like they're funnier and the action's better. Like, so it's really just kind of like, well, where did he come from? And then it like actually makes some sense.
It's
like Peter Jackson's early like horror films, like Dead Alive.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
it's
like, okay, yeah,
it's basically the American version of Top Secret. That's what I'll say about it. If you like Top Secret or like tongue-in-cheek kind of spy comedy, that's what it reminds me of, but more violent, but way more bloody.
Yeah,
people exploding bloody.
Yeah, like getting riddled, just ventilated with bullets.
The golden gun just blowing everybody up like it's a grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, that super bullet, like that can go through everything.
His red tipped bullets.
Like the actual guy you think is the protagonist in the opening. You're like, oh, I guess he's not.
So
you might want to edit that last part out, Christopher.
Oh, whatever.
What?
Somebody just gave the game away. That knucklehead.
Spoiler alert! I don't think any spoilers are gonna
diminish the effect.
Cause anyone problems. Yeah. So I'm gonna do the first thing. The first time I've ever done this is giving it 2 ratings. So like,
don't turn into a Taylor. It's hard enough with these ratings already. Nobody knows what to do.
I make my spreadsheet that calculates the total score based on the individual categorical scores.
Let's see if we take cell E3 and if
1
we
million
times that by
stars.
cell G7 and then we round up that total and we move the decimal points.
So the reason why I say two ratings is for basically what you both said is if you're a Stephen Chow fan, you should watch it and it's you're going to appreciate it. But otherwise, I mean, unless you really like tongue-in-cheek ripoffs, Asian ripoffs of these kind of movies like spy
Asian
movies,
spoof.
then Asian spoof. Yeah, I don't know. I would probably say no. Like I'd give it a low rating, like a small bucket of popcorn.
So
but I guess if you're liking
you're
that
saying
stuff,
if this movie was referenced in that book, 1001 Movies to See Before You Die, you'd say probably skip it and see something else ahead of this instead.
Like more like 1,000 movies you should see before you die.
Go see.
What did I?
Yeah, go see Kung Fu Hustle instead of this.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying now. Thought I misspoke for a second.
What about you? Cole?
I give it 3 stars because for someone with ADHD,
and you're a 3 out of 4.
I'm the
right?
classic 3 out of 4, Roger Ebert style.
Okay.
It's short, like me with my horrible attention span. It's short enough, and it made me laugh hard enough. There's just a lot of gotcha moments, like the briefcase outside the party where he just can't figure out what he's doing. That, like, actually almost brought me to tears. That it was worth watching a second time. So I'll say 3 out of 4. I just bloody and stupid and over the top and hilarious at the same time, but it's got its moments. So I mean, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
the gun that.
Yeah, the shaver / phone / hairdryer / dryer shaver
the inventions,
/ shoe dryer was pretty awesome.
The part where he meets the girl in the apartment for the first time when he thinks someone broke in because the dresser's ajar, so he kicks it in and she's just like, no, it's just propped open.
Oh yeah,
and she's got to hand him back his shoe because his foot's stuck in the door.
and then he steals her slipper and she's all pissed off about it. It's so weird. All right, any parting thoughts?
It's a fun hour and a half, but it's not a must see.
We only paid $1.99 on Amazon. Correct?
$2.99. It was $3.
Oh.
Exactly. Just wants to be the world's first trillionaire.
That's going to set out an overdraft alert.
Exactly. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you guys next time.
As always, hit me up on the Twitters or the Instas if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet, post, comment, hashtag, and whatever else there is. Let me know if there's something you'd like us to review. Also, if you enjoyed this or any of our previous episodes, please subscribe so you can get notifications on our newest episodes. Much appreciated. Next week, we have something special for you.
Covey leader calling Raven. Come on, Raven. Covey leader calling Raven.
In celebrating the recent Rambo saga being released on pristine 4K reproductions, we're going to go deep inside the gunshot side wound legacy of John Rambo. It's going to be a wild ride. Turn up the heat, smear some jungle mud all over your body, and get ready for the slowly rising body count. Also, in conjunction with this release, and since it's our 60th episode, or will be, I've created a Patreon account. If you've liked anything up to this point and want to throw a few shekels at the priest, please do so if you feel so inclined at patreon.com/popcornpriest. And as always, thanks for listening. This has been Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, and for Cole and Taylor, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.